these guys have really been pushing each other, and then you see the younger guys getting better and better. Caleb McCullough's had a great spring. Will's had a good spring. Connor Sully's had a great spring. So, the key is in this game, and it's funny, Sully brought it up today. Big Sully brought it up in the meeting that you got to always be ready with our group, right? It's a long season. Anything can happen, and you got to be ready to step in. So that's what's expected in the room, which is great. And like the end of the year last year, we ended up starting a freshman, sophomore, and then Sully senior. So you never know what's going to happen. You got to stay ready.
Do the players seem a lot more settled into what you're asking of them based upon the experience that you now have built up with them?
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely easier for me this year. I had to learn the defense on the fly and go, and being able to have time to sit down and actually talk with Marvin and learn the defense and more allows me to expand on my coaching. So I'm excited to show up every day and get my guys better. And I think they've had a pretty good spring so far. So I'm looking forward to them to continue to grow in the offseason as well.
And then, Coach, how do you feel that their chemistry and their growth with the defensive line through this part to up to this point of spring has been so far?
I think it's been good. I mean, you got to understand that D-line's done great this spring. Honestly, you got Jeremy Lowell is out. You got Nestor's out. And our pass rusher, our end guys out. So I can just tell you, I'm excited for that group, honestly. And I think our guys have understood what is expected of them and how they need to fit on the defense and helping those guys get lined up. I mean, I think they're just in sync right now. They're playing pretty good.
And then I know you did say obviously the older players saying, next guy up. But how do you feel that the younger guys have gotten used to the system and kind of, accepted that they could be in there at any moment?
Well, I think the proof is in the pudding. Like last year, the games they came in and had to play. Eric played a lot last year as a freshman. More his role is going to have to be expanded, and he's going to have to be more accountable for what he does every play, right? So I think ultimately we got a good group of guys, and they're competitive. And they're competitive in everything, and that's how we try to be. We try to be competitive in special teams. We try to be competitive amongst each other. When they go against each other in special teams, they're trying to rip each other's head off. But it's all love when we get in that room. But that's what we have to be about. We don't have no time to worry about anything else, no feelings or anything. Just constantly competing.
Coach, we've seen Eric Gentry's physical development this year. What have you seen from him this spring, and then kind of what do you envision as his plan throughout the fall?
Well, I think he's just going to continue to grow, right? Everybody talks about certain things, but I think for him, it's confidence for the players, right? His confidence is starting to show as a player, and that's the most important thing to me is that my guys play with confidence. The other stuff will take care of itself, but I think just the fact that he's starting to come out of his shell, be more of a leader, and have confidence is the main thing for me with all the players.
And then Saturday there was Darien Butler showed up to practice.
Hell yeah.
Guys walk over to him and acknowledge him. Who's kind of taken the mantle of that leadership role in the linebacker room this year?
Kyle definitely is that guy. I think Nine is going to learn to develop to be that guy. I think the Mike linebackers in our defense ultimately have that role because they have to speak so much and communicate so much. So I think ultimately 34 is going to be the top dog initially, and I think he'll allow these guys to continue to grow in those roles because, again, you don't know who's going to be on the field, right? And I told those guys I ain't scared, so we got to play. Everybody's got to be ready to play, and as long as we have that mentality, we'll be fine.
Chris, if you go back several years to Merlin's freshman year, I think most people wouldn't expect him to still be in college at this point. So what's kind of possible for him with another season of football? What are you trying to get out of it?
He's had an excellent spring. I mean, I'm really happy for him because I see the league, I see it turning, and I'm looking forward to seeing unleash him this year. I think some of the goals that we set for our defense, he's going to be a major part of us accomplishing those things. So that's the pressure that we do put on him, and we don't allow him to sit back. And I think he's took that role. He's more of a quiet guy, but I just tell him everybody's different, and let your play speak if that's who you are. And so I'm looking forward to him. But he has a great spring. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm lucky that I got him back. You know what I mean? Because he could have jumped to the pros. But just the fact to be able to have him for 2 years, another year, I think it benefits both of us.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of that, who's somebody that you feel like has made really great strides as we kind of head towards the end of spring practice?
Caleb Mccullough. Awesome offseason. We moved him to the Sam position. And he really took on to that, never complained or cried, and he's played really, really well. Really, really well. So I would say he's definitely one. Again, Merlin's had a great spring. I mean, his name doesn't come up in meetings. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing for him. So those guys have definitely done. 18's done a good job too. Connor Sully has had a great spring as well.
And then as we kind of head towards the final couple of spring practices, what are some like ideas or like key takeaways you want to give to these guys as we kind of put a bow on things?
I think the main thing is being consistent and, just having pride in your craft, right? And having depth throughout, right? It shouldn't be no ones. It should just be the group of guys. And that's the thing that we're trying to get established in that room. We want the guys that are a little bit behind to catch up and to be on the same level and push them. So then mentally and physically, we compete, again, every day at everything.
Rodney's obviously new. He looks the part. What do you think about just getting him incorporated?
He just got to continue to get acclimated in what we're doing. I think it's different than whatever they did at Mississippi State. So if he continues and stays in that playbook, because it does take a little bit, it is a pro-style playbook. So if he can take that time, and that some of it's on Coach Claiborne and some of it's on him, right, to spend some extra time learning what he needs to learn as on our defense. But if he can do that, man, physically, the dude has all the skills. Like when you see him run, you're like, oh, flash, he shows up. So the talent is definitely there. So we're looking to just get this to go with the body, the mind to go with the body.